Yes, well, this is a little meditation, even though short moments is really an ultimate meditation or moment of rest that we can take while we're doing anything, obviously. And but now we'll do just a 1 or 2 minute short moment meditation. We'll guide a bit through recognizing open intelligence. So you can sit or lie down, or maybe you're walking, that's fine. And you can keep your eyes open or close them. Take a few deep breaths and relax body and mind. Just naturally, everything as it is. It's fine if there are many thoughts, or you might have emotions, feelings, and sensations. We might hear some sounds in our environment or on this call. And take a couple of more deep breaths in and out. And let all the sounds and thoughts and sensations come and go, like the waves on the ocean come and go. And while there's all these perceptions, all these thoughts, sensations, there's something about us that is indestructible, something about us that's what's looking, sensing, and hearing. Something about us that is stable and clear and naturally present. And when we stop thinking for a moment, just for a brief moment, and what remains is a clarity, alertness, the power to know. And then there are more thoughts coming in, which is natural and fine. We're noticing maybe our body or our environment. And these are, all these appearances within our mind. Our mind is vast like the sky. And all these appearances, all these data or thoughts, emotions, they're inseparable from this presence of open intelligence. Like the color blue in the sky, and the sky are inseparable. And we rest for short moments, allowing every thought and emotion to be as it is, one short moment at a time. We rest in our indestructible essence. And we also, after this short meditation, we can take these short moments of resting naturally, short moments of allowing everything to be as it is. So we can open our eyes if they were closed. Take a moment and recognize the open intelligence always present. We'll share now more with the presentation, with the slides. And Jochen, do you want to start?
Yeah. So like the last couple of times, well, that's probably like 15 minutes or so. We just want to give a bit of a context, and then we'll be happy to share more and answer any questions that you have. Let me see here. Share. You should see that now. Is that right, Kati? Good. All right. So the subtitle for today, this entire series is Finding Rest in our true nature, in the empowered mind. And today we'll want to talk more about how to access wisdom in all thoughts and emotions. And essentially, in every moment, we have many choices. Like, we could go left, we could go right, or we can eat, I don't know, vegan or not vegan, or we can do yoga or watch a movie, or there's like lots of choices in life. But there is also a very fundamental choice, and that is the choice of how we describe everything, how we use our mind to describe everything. If we get lost in descriptions, we find ourselves in a roller coaster ride of thoughts, emotions, and other experiences. We spoke about that a little more in depth last time, but if you say have a strong emotion come up, and we go with all the thoughts and emotions that come from that initial place, then it's like this constant up and down of our own thoughts and emotions. We feel happy, and then something happens, and then we feel sad, and we're just going in and out of these emotions. And yeah, it's can sometimes feel like this roller coaster ride here. And then the other choice is, by the power of a short moment of open intelligence, we directly experience freedom from these ups and downs. We begin to have a balanced outlook. We're better able to be of benefit to ourselves, family, community, and world. By the power of open intelligence, we tap into our innate strengths, gifts, talents, and contribute them to the benefit of all. So that means, it doesn't mean that thoughts and emotions don't come up anymore, or that they don't continue to feel better or worse. But there is this, what Kati so beautifully spoke to in the meditation, there is this underlying sense of stability, even though the thoughts and emotions arise. And that's that underlying sense of stability, of the indestructible essence of our being, is where we can rest. That's where we can relax. That's what we tap into in a short moment. So in each moment, we have that choice. Do I just get lost and absorbed in the descriptions of what's running through my mind, or do I rest as the spacious nature of mind in which the thoughts and emotions continue to arise? So simply said, short moments of open intelligence are soothing, and constant emphasis on data is uncomfortable. And data, if you haven't been here before, we use data as a term to describe all thoughts, emotions, sensations, just one word to keep it really simple. Otherwise, it would be so much to say all the time. But anything that can arise in our mind, we call that data. And all data are arising constantly, a ceaseless flow in and as open intelligence. Kati, do you want to take it from here?
Yes. So short moments are user-friendly. So in a short moment of open intelligence, we return to our original dignity and benefit. In each short moment, we press the reset button of open intelligence, love, and beneficial energy. Yeah, I really like that metaphor of the reset button. It shows how immediate it is, the short moments. Like, and because it's our natural state, it's immediately accessible. It's just like with all, due to focusing on all the thoughts and emotions, it went unnoticed. So that short moments is supportive to recognize that that is our natural state, that there's something about us indestructible, and the presence, soothing presence of open intelligence. And basically the reset button, it returns us to our original dignity and benefit, our beneficial nature, to something about us that is naturally clear and naturally beneficial. And it's the moment when we see all that energy that we might feel, like we have all these thoughts, feelings, and sensations, and seeing that that's the dynamic energy of our intelligence, and how we can access that wisdom in a short moment by pressing the reset button. And it doesn't mean we get rid of things. It simply means we are, it's like redefining, or it's like recognizing the powerful energy within us, the powerful beneficial energy that we have as human beings. So our intelligence, speech, body qualities, and activities are empowered with our original beneficial reality. So we suddenly see, like, when I look at my experience, that short moment, it gives me access to using my mind in a way that is clear and open, and the power to know is it's something to know what to do in every moment, not be totally caught up in my feelings and thoughts. And sometimes we have no idea what to do because there's so many descriptions, so many thoughts and feelings about something, and they can take over. It's like, wow, the emotions can take over, and it really is feeling everything deeply as well. Feeling also being able to feel the suffering and pain, not only in ourselves, but in other people too. So, but I'll go back to but that's where it goes to. It's the recognizing something about us that is indestructible and open and isn't afraid of anything that might come up in our personal lives or in our communities and family. And look directly at your indestructible essence. Yes, it's like that's the reset button. The short moment is seeing our indestructible essence. And the crystal ball is a metaphor we spoke about, where you see how indestructible the crystal ball is, and it reflects all the images in the environment. And so all thoughts and emotions are like reflections in a crystal ball. The reflections do not change the crystal ball. The crystal ball is indestructible regardless of what appears in it and regardless of what it reflects. And short moments give that insight and give that reality of, I have all these thoughts and emotions and nothing is scratched. I'm unaffected by them, even though, wow, I can feel everything deeply. And so that's what we see in a short moment. We rest the mind naturally without describing anything, meaning we see everything though. And we can, sometimes we need to use words and need to, at the same time, we rest the mind naturally, not go into all these stories, descriptions. We see open intelligence without seeking anything. We rest naturally. That's something that really, when I was meeting the teaching the first time, rest the mind naturally without seeking anything, was a real powerful insight. And the bath, that's nice. Do you want to take that metaphor?
It's like finishing a hard day's work and being able to completely relax body and mind after a warm and soothing bath. Just sit there, completely relaxed and natural, tired, but completely resting. So, you know, it can be so ingrained. It definitely has been for me that my job is to constantly survey my thoughts and emotions and make sure I have the right ones, that I say only good things, that I don't harm anybody, that I'm a good person. And then later I added some Eastern philosophy into that, and that I don't create negative karma. And so I was constantly watching myself, and to just rest completely, that is so much work. to constantly manage ourselves, and to just let that all drop for even just a moment, to allow myself to actually not, to just be. It was so striking, that was so, it felt so uncommon, so new, to not worry about my next thought or emotion, to just know that I am here, I can relax, and all is well. I was really good at managing my thoughts and emotions. It wasn't that I had a bad life, but it was a lot of work. So I like this metaphor of just relaxing there in that, what are those called? Infinity pool. It's a big bath. So in every moment, essentially, we choose, that's the most important choice. We either focus on the descriptions. We have this tunnel vision where all we see is the current data stream, the thought, the emotion, or the physical sensation. Or we rely on open intelligence and rest naturally, and allow that sense of ease and rest to pervade all the descriptions. It's not that we get rid of the descriptions. Thoughts and emotions are part of human life, just like breathing and sleeping and doing other things. But we don't need to be completely absorbed in them. So there can be the spacious ease and sense of rest that pervades all the descriptions. So specifically, when we notice that, that data form, which means, say you enter a conversation and then suddenly you begin to notice that you feel maybe tensed, or the person says something that you really don't want to hear. And then you can feel the energy boot up, the system is booting up to get angry or annoyed or something like that. And in that very moment, rest, just a moment of rest, and rely on the serene and spacious open intelligence. Just for a moment, in the moment that data form, relax. That is the introduction to open intelligence. That is open intelligence, which has no point from which to view. Just the single spacious expanse of open intelligence. Relying on open intelligence is referred to as short moments, many times become automatic. Short moments is to cultivate many moments of open intelligence many times until it becomes automatic and permanent. Then there is no need to rely on short moments any longer. So we don't need to, in that moment of recognition of open intelligence that is instinctive, it usually is literally just a short moment. And then we don't want to try and hold on to that, because otherwise, if we do that, we make open intelligence into a thing again, and it becomes another effort. And you spoke a bit to that in your share in the beginning of our meeting, and we're happy to get back there. But essentially, when you notice that that's happening for you, it definitely did for me, return to literally relax body and mind, like that grip on data, then like on the thoughts, on emotions, and trying that effort. Relax, literally just let it all drop. And sometimes when it feels we don't even know how to do that, it can be helpful to just listen to a talk, or read one of the books, or go for a walk, lie down and have a snooze, or whatever it is. Just literally relax and don't effort. Like, there is no effort needed to recognize open intelligence. And when we make it into an effort, it's good to just pause for a little bit, and the other media, the videos, the audios, if you have those, and the books, the teachings, all of this can be helpful to more spontaneously and easily then slip into the recognition again. But then eventually, short moments aren't needed any longer throughout the day, because the obviousness of open intelligence is just getting brighter and brighter. There's a beautiful metaphor of the sun rising in the morning. That's, at night all the stars are visible, and then as the sun starts to rise, fewer and fewer of the stars are visible, until at some point no star other than the sun is visible any longer. And the stars didn't go anywhere. It's just that they're no longer noticed. And so it's the same initially with short moments. There is just a glimpse of open intelligence, but then as the sun of open intelligence begins to be more and more bright and obvious in our experience, the many, many stars, all our descriptions fade more and more into the background. When we stop trying to control the natural flow of data and simply rely on open intelligence, we experience powerful clarity and a balanced view. We realize that all data have their origin in open intelligence, and that no data can be found to exist in its own right. Like all our thoughts and emotions, they're only possible because of our natural intelligence, right? Like without that, without awareness, without the fundamental intelligence of our mind, we wouldn't be aware of thoughts. We wouldn't be able to have emotions, to notice them. So open intelligence is always present. It's just that it's gone unnoticed because all our focus was on the thoughts and emotions. So that's that shift in every moment we can make. Patty, over to you again. Is it good?
Yeah, that's a share from someone who's completed the 12 empowerments or has done the teaching. Life has become pretty unbelievable. I have mental and emotional stability. I feel my thoughts and emotions cannot affect me. Stress used to be perpetual. Now calmness is perpetual. That's good. I feel more clarity in my head and decision making. Yeah. But those are examples of, and I can relate to them in my own experience, where there's a stability that is more obvious in short moments. Open intelligence is more obvious. There's a stability, and the ups and downs of the thoughts and emotions, because we never know what comes next and what our next thought and emotions cannot affect me. And it really brings a relaxation in body and mind, where there's more calmness, but also, we can be very busy with that calmness and be very active. Yet it isn't the entire exhaustion of data relaxes. And the 12 empowerments that I just mentioned is a way, and we are covering the introduction and getting to know open intelligence, and the 12 empowerments is a step-by-step process, so to speak, how to integrate one's life and all specifics in one's life into the power of rest, and how to rest while we face things in our lives, specifically relationships and circumstances. Yeah. So is that our last slide? Yeah.
No.
Yes, good. And by the power of simply relying on open intelligence, it becomes increasingly obvious, and data vanish naturally. Yeah. So when it's especially relevant to specifics in our daily life, how can we use the power of our mind and rest while we are maybe busy working or in relationships, and maybe have to discuss things or when there are lots of feelings involved or thoughts, and how open intelligence can be useful in short moments to be open, clear, and know what to say, and where we're not caught up. The data vanish naturally. So short moments also become automatic. It's not that we always have to think, oh, short moments. We speak with someone, and it might be that we think that, and especially initially, but they become more automatic. There's more instinctive recognition that we don't have to keep in place. it's self-kept, it's something that is natural and becomes more obvious, and it's our natural state. So it doesn't need effort. So the emphasizing data falls away because of the habit of not recognizing open intelligence. The initial moments of open intelligence may not last long at first, and we shared about that last time, and it's always good to speak about that, because we feel like, oh, the short moments should be a bit longer, but they can be a brief second, and just a few times a day we remember. But that remembering comes more often, and not to try to prolong, like into a state of calmness or into a state of something that feels better. So they slip away, and that's why we rely on short moments, and it's repeated many times, and we think of we remember short moments until it becomes more continuous and automatic. Yeah.
Kathy, we do have a few more slides, but maybe we can also pause here.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is that
Perfect.
good?
Yeah.
Stop the screen share. We do want to take time for any questions and shares. So pausing here. Kathy, I just lost you. Are you still here?
I'm here. And then maybe anybody who would like to share how short moments are going, and how it for you, and how it went over the last week. Any questions, of course. How's it going for you, Alex?
It's going okay, thanks. Yeah, I struggled the same with what is it Sarah? My apologies, I got your name wrong. But what Sarah said was that I made it into a big effort and a big practice trying to do a short moment and trying to make it happen, trying to stay in a state of calm no matter what, and try to accept my emotions, and made it into a big effort, and I couldn't figure out how to just stop and let go. But these talks have really helped, and just to rest as Jochen said, just as that spacious awareness, just where it all comes up and goes, and not try to recognize that I am the awareness. I not try to make that into something the Q&A last week really helped, where I was able to where I realized it was thanks to your guidance, that just sitting naturally and let everything be as it is, let my awareness be as it is, and just sitting as that naturally, you sort of notice that clarity, that knowingness. It's just a natural recognition that's always there. So it's always aware of itself. But then if you try to force that to happen, then it doesn't quite work. And that's where I was getting caught up. So I feel much more relaxed about it. It feels like my mind's not, I'm not separate. Before I used to separate a lot into trying to observe what's happening. And now it feels like that I'm not trying to push away things and observe them so I don't feel them. It just sort of collapses, and it's just experiencing everything. Yeah, so it feels much more relaxing. So much easier. The one thing I do struggle with, though, is I do have this physical tension I have in my jaw. I had since the pandemic, when we went into lockdown where I was living. My jaw also locked down. And ever since it's still tense. So that I struggle with when I do maybe a meditation sit. So I don't know if you might be able to provide some insight on that, or anything else I might have mentioned.
Great, thank you for sharing. Yes. I mean, the short moments, it's powerful to see that there can even be with tension, there can be a short moment of open intelligence. So because open intelligence is all inclusive with everything, that's a powerful recognition that open intelligence is present, even if actually our body is completely tensed. At the same time, it can be helpful to actually relax, and sometimes it's not easy to relax, and I know that with the jaw myself, and but in practicing short moments, even if we can relax body and mind, seeing that the tension, whether there's tension or not tension, open intelligence is present, and that is actually the most powerful moment for gaining confidence in open intelligence, that we don't have to actually have a relaxed body or good thought, and realize the presence of open intelligence, even if we are super tensed, and that there can be calmness and tension, so to speak, inseparable. So that is that takes a moment of effort away as well, because for now there's no need to focus on getting your body totally, or getting your thoughts or your body sensations into the right place. So that's probably a good first step, seeing, okay, well, okay, tension and negative thoughts, all the things that might not feel the right thing. They appear in this spacious, open intelligence as it is inseparable. That's a short moment. And that's it. It doesn't have to feel good or look good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe you understand. Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of, I don't know if you remember this, Kati, but in Rishikesh, after the empowerments, I have this issue with my back since I'm like in my early 20s, where my back goes out sometimes, and so my back went out, and I had this excruciating pain that I always had, and by the power of short moments, I had like a direct experience that pain and suffering don't have to go together. Like, I can have pain and not suffer. The suffering, so much of it for me came from all the descriptions, and that my entire, you could say, like, focus and attention went on describing the pain, and like thinking about, will it ever go away, or like, what did I do wrong, or what do I need to do, and like there's just so much involvement in it, and by no means was I able to have short moments throughout, or open intelligence obvious throughout the entire experience, but there were these moments of where I could just see, wow, I can be free within this experience, which was so, like, again, so striking for me, that I can have pain and not suffer from that pain. And of course, that also literally helps, like now, after many years of having these kinds of experiences, I can see that a relaxed mind is one of the most important ingredients in healing our bodies. There's the placebo effect, which typically is seen as something like bad for studies that are being done, but I think it's one of the most important discoveries in medicine, because it shows the power of the mind. Like, you can just think that you're healing yourself with this pill, even though you're eating sugar, and there is no other ingredient in this thing, and your body heals. So what that tells me is that our mind is really powerful. And so to relax the mind in its natural state, that has access to the natural intelligence of our body and all the knowledge, really, of nature, because we're inseparable from nature, we're indivisible from nature, we are nature's intelligence in this skin suit. It really is powerful, and there are, of course, many practical things we can do about these things. So I would never say just rest and never go to the doctor, or don't see an I don't know how they're called in English, but they're like the jaw doctors. Like, maybe there are practical things that can be helpful, or progressive muscle relaxation techniques or something like that, to just like help the physicality of it. But the real power I feel in, especially upon the introduction to open intelligence, for me has been to return to that recognition of open intelligence throughout whatever would arise and prioritize that and just see, like, first and foremost, I want to see the shine of open intelligence, and then I make decisions from there and see what can support in like my body or relationships or how to make money and all of that. So there are many practical things and skillful means we can pick up, of course. Yeah.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Great. Good. Anybody else who'd like to share? Yes, please. I only see iPhone, so I can't address you by name, but it's nice to see you.
Sorry about that. Crystal here. I just first
Hi,
time joining
Crystal.
here. Hi. Good morning. So this kind of reminds me of a holy instant with the Course in Miracles a little bit, which I kind of sort of try to practice, even though it's kind of hard for me to understand all of it. Can you hear me okay? Because I just okay. But for me, like relaxing into things, like into the discomfort is good. But my discomfort is, I'm pretty much all the time, especially around other people, I'm always kind of in my head about if I'm in the way. I'm thinking about what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about creation, I get kind of obsessed with my thoughts. I'm worried that I'm creating reality. So I'm judging my thoughts. Is this a good thought or a bad thought? Is this going to cause me to attract more good or bad? And it's like, I'm trying to find the space, like the neutral space of allowing, I guess, my higher self to come through and live my life through me. I don't really want to be so involved with like the law of attraction or like, am I creating my own reality? I get really caught up in that, and it becomes a mental obsession. And I guess so. I'm just sharing this because to kind of get it out of my head and out there. But yeah, I guess I just kind of struggle with that a lot. So I'm trying to find ways to kind of calm my mind, because it gets a little bit kind of crazy. I don't know if that really makes a lot of sense or not, but I kind of trying to do it. I'm kind of trying to practice relaxing into my discomforting thoughts or my obsessive thoughts in the same way that I would, like, if I'm stretching, kind of like instead of perceiving it as, pain or pleasure, just like experiencing it without any judgment. I'm just trying to kind of do that, become like, kind of like almost like relaxing into, or like breathing into it, and to the point where I kind of am not thinking about anything anymore. But sometimes it can be hard for me to balance that because I have to function, obviously, and I have to do things in the world. So it's like I find that I'm losing a lot of time being really present because I'm trying to do something. And so I guess with time and just practicing, just being, as present as possible and becoming the observer, the witnesser of things, and just knowing that I don't have to get so personally involved in the storyline of my character. I can just kind of step back. That seems to help. But it's, of course, it's practice. So, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yes, thank you for sharing. Yes, that's good. And yeah, totally understand. And I think that trying that can be sometimes a lot, trying to keep it all in place and maybe try to be present. So these short moments, and they encourage an effortless moment without anything needing to be in place, because your presence of open intelligence already there, like space already is here. You are touching always space, so it's like always here, and just hearing that, for just listening to these kinds of to open intelligence, to an introduction, makes it become more obvious. So it's great that you're here and you have a sense of it, and you could try to take short moments now throughout the week, whenever it feels like you're trying to do something, trying to be present, and especially with I think the metaphor of the stretching is actually it's great, because it is letting everything be as it is. And but I'll just get there's some echo here. Yeah, so to letting everything be as it is within open intelligence for a short moment. And even if you judge, like we don't have to get rid of thoughts and emotions and even the judgments. So that could also add to not trying to not judge, letting that come and go. It self-releases, the thought self-releases. And I can relate to that feeling of, wow, if I have negative thoughts, I will magnetize that reality. And short moments in open intelligence really helped me a lot with that, because less and less were these thoughts threatening, and they self-release. They self-release, so instead of trying to actually get rid of them, they open up into space with a short moment, and then you basically have that outcome that you're looking for. You're in the flow of self. You said something like that, right? You're in the flow of open intelligence, where everything self-releases, and these negative things are not, not constantly in our minds. We're perpetuating our thoughts and stories, and then that's all we see. So that's where it gets more clear what that manifesting also could mean. Yes. I don't know, Johan, if you have an additional, but testing out these short moments of effortless, that's it'll quickly become obvious.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think for me also recognizing that open intelligence is the nature of mind is indestructible. It isn't affected by my thoughts. So I could have a day of only negative thoughts, and it doesn't scratch the crystal ball-like nature of mind. There is no scratch from a negative thought. So in a way, it doesn't matter any longer. And I'm saying in a way, because of course, I'd rather have only great thoughts. No more pain, lots of money in my bank, and only positive emotions. But I haven't found a way to do that. But the second best thing is to be unaffected by whether I have positive or negative thoughts, whether I have no money in the bank or lots of money in the bank, and to just see what is the unchanging ground of being, like so solid that no matter how strong the earth might shake, nothing will happen. And so that strength, that solidity, that firm ground, when that becomes the platform from which all the thoughts and emotions come and subside, we can relax in that safety. That's how I felt. That's what it created for me, a sense of being safe and sane within myself.
I find it sometimes difficult to, well, what I've been struggling with is it does seem that the mind thinks that there's safety in the thoughts. It's trying to find something to be able to feel better. And whereas it doesn't really trust that by relaxing and being here, that's good enough or even safe to do. And especially with heavy trauma, which is kind of my situation, it feels like there's a dysregulation in the nervous system. And so it really is physically responding in fear. And sometimes I try to, what helps me get to that space of awareness or open intelligence is kind of implementing like open focus, so that I open to the environment with my gaze and I bring in more of what's around me and what's in the here and now. But I do wonder about solidifying more of that aspect rather than sort of see a little bit of the unreality in thoughts, because it does seem to have, that seems more solidified and has dimension and reality. And I'm trying to sort of make the other part of it more stable. and real.
Kathy, did you want to share something there, or?
Yes, and Sarah, can you just share? So you want to make, what would you like to make more real and more stable?
What's there all the time. So
Yeah,
I guess what you're referring to as open intelligence. Yeah, sorry, I don't know if I was clear on what I was saying.
no, it's good. It's good, and it's understandable that when within, you know, all the appearances that might, all the physical and mental appearances that might feel scary or not reliable, we want to find something that is absolutely reliable and stable, safe. Yeah, and that is really what open intelligence is. And you know, like we said, and also the last times, it's not a substitute for any other support that might be needed physically, but also mentally. That open intelligence can always go inseparable. And but it's true, it is something that we can 100% rely on every moment. And that that is our go-to, even in the scary moments and in the uncomfortable and yeah, maybe even terrifying moments.
Yeah, does it at first at first do you experience more of the raw pain? Does that become more intense at first? Because that's what I'm finding. Like, because whereas before the thoughts would cover that over, it seems to want to take me away from that. And then when I go into the open intelligence, sometimes I'll feel what I've been trying to avoid. So could be an enormous amount of pain, emotional, physical pain in my body. And
yes, that is true too, because yes, and that is also good to really take care. I'll say that because open intelligence is sometimes when we feel like, okay, now we you know, we might be used to doing things to not feel all the pain, or you know, just having thoughts that help. And then we think, oh, we have to just rest in open intelligence and do nothing, and then maybe the pain gets more and feels more. And open intelligence, recognizing open intelligence means that we face everything very strongly, and so that is so that we sometimes feel even more deeply for ourselves and for other people. So that is generally very powerful. However, it might in some, you know, times and in some areas of our life might need extra support, professional support as well. You know, extra support physically, but also extra support for mentally, and that is fine too. So I just want to say that really that it's not a substitute for any other professional support. But it's true that we sometimes feel more because we rest in open intelligence and not try to cover everything up, our pain, our thoughts, and try to avoid or replace them, which can be helpful strategies, but they of course keep the ups and downs. When we speak about a life of ups and downs, it keeps that in place. But gaining confidence in open intelligence means we feel really deeply. Yeah.
Yeah, which is what I've been finding exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just learning to increase my capacity to actually feel more, just feel the intensity of whatever is. Yeah, it's not easy.
It's yes, but it's also good, and it's step by step, right? And feeling more and trusting that there's something about you that is stable. Yeah. And so we feel more. That's also where we really open up for compassion for ourselves and others. I'll say that word because it's really like you feel everyone, and it really opens up that space of understanding also others and ourselves. I find that is a beautiful aspect of connection. Yeah. See if we have another share or question before we end. I don't know. Yeah.
This might be a
Well,
good note to end on, Kati.
yes,
This
yes.
is beautiful. Thank you, everybody, for asking your questions, for being here. So much happening in the world, and it's beautiful to come together, you know, in such openness, and support each other in living life with everything that's going on amidst all the ups and downs, personally and collectively. So thank you for your openness to ask and share today. Kati, anything about next week? Do you want to share, invite anything?
We'll meet
or...
again next week, and actually we mentioned, but we will bring it more. We'll share a bit more about what the 12 empowerments are and how that looks, and what that kind of process. And we'd love to have that also on the slides, maybe more. Good, but we'll meet again next week, and love to hear how your short moments go there. Much
Great.
love. Bye-bye,
And let us
everyone.
know in the meantime if you have any questions, or if we can expand on anything. Thank you.
Bye-bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you so
Have a good
much.
day.